Welcome to CourtSpiral, where truth is stranger than fiction. Today, we're diving into one of the most shocking legal battles that will leave you questioning everything you thought you knew about justice. In the world of the rich and powerful, no one is beyond the law. But sometimes the law itself becomes a game where the stakes are higher than we can imagine. Let's take a look at how the trial of Senator John Matthews unfolded, a case that would grip the nation and expose the murky depths of political maneuvering. Senator Matthews was a prominent figure in the political landscape, known for his fiery speeches and unwavering dedication to his constituents. He had a reputation for being tough on crime and an advocate for reform, especially in the realm of campaign finance. However, behind the polished image lay a web of intrigue and allegations that would soon unravel. The storm began brewing when an investigative journalist, Sarah Wells, published a series of articles highlighting suspicious campaign contributions to Matthews' re-election fund. The articles detailed how a significant portion of the funds came from a mysterious group of corporations with ties to illegal activities. The pieces exposed a potential quid pro quo arrangement, suggesting that Senator Matthews may have been leveraging his political influence for personal gain. As the public's interest peaked, the Senate Ethics Committee launched an inquiry into the allegations. Matthews, confident in his innocence, welcomed the investigation, believing he would be vindicated. But as the inquiry progressed, the evidence began to pile up and the walls started closing in on him. Witnesses began to come forward, including a former campaign manager who claimed that Matthews had pressured staff to solicit large donations from corporations seeking favorable legislation. This testimony painted a troubling picture of a man who had strayed far from his principles. The media frenzy intensified, with headlines screaming of betrayal and corruption. The public was captivated and support for Matthews began to wane. Just when it seemed like Matthews' political career was on the verge of collapse, he made a bold move. He announced that he would be running for re-election despite the ongoing investigation, declaring his innocence in a fiery press conference that captivated the nation. "I will not be intimidated by false accusations," he proclaimed, rallying his supporters and vowing to fight for justice. However, the situation took a dramatic turn when the FBI stepped in. A federal grand jury was convened, and Matthews was officially indicted on multiple counts, including bribery, conspiracy, and fraud. The trial was set to become one of the most high-profile cases in recent history, with implications that would ripple through the political landscape. As the trial commenced, the courtroom was filled with a mix of supporters, journalists, and curious onlookers. The prosecution laid out its case against Matthews with a meticulous presentation of evidence, including bank records, emails, and testimonies from former associates. They painted a picture of a man who had put personal ambition above the law, using his position to enrich himself and his allies. The defense, on the other hand, took a different approach. They portrayed Matthews as a dedicated public servant who had been the victim of a politically motivated witch hunt. They argued that the contributions he received were lawful and that the accusations against him were exaggerated and unfounded. The defense team worked tirelessly to discredit the witnesses, seeking to undermine their credibility and motivations. As the trial progressed, tensions rose. The public was divided. Some believed in Matthews' innocence while others were convinced of his guilt. The courtroom drama unfolded, with each passing day filled with unexpected twists and emotional testimonies. Matthews himself took the stand, delivering a passionate defense of his actions and denying any wrongdoing. He claimed that he had always acted in the best interests of his constituents. Just when it seemed like this case was about to wrap up, something unexpected happened. A surprise witness emerged, a whistleblower from within the corporation at the center of the allegations. This individual provided shocking testimony that contradicted Matthews' narrative, claiming to have first-hand knowledge of illicit activities and backdoor dealings. The courtroom fell silent as the witness detailed meetings where Matthews allegedly promised favorable legislation in exchange for substantial donations. This pivotal moment shifted the trial's trajectory, leaving both the jury and the public reeling. The defense scrambled to regain control, questioning the witnesses' motivations and credibility, but the damage was done. The jury had been presented with a compelling alternative narrative that cast doubt on Matthews' innocence. As the trial approached its conclusion, both sides delivered their closing arguments. The prosecution emphasized the need for accountability, urging the jury to consider the implications of letting a powerful politician evade justice. They asked, "If we allow this to go unchecked, what message does it send to the public?" The defense, in response, painted a picture of a man who had dedicated his life to public service, arguing that the case was a dangerous precedent for any voice that dared to challenge the status quo. They implored the jury to remember that the burden of proof lay with the prosecution and that reasonable doubt had been established. The jury deliberated for days, a seemingly endless process as they weighed the evidence presented before them. The tension in the courtroom was palpable, with supporters of both sides anxiously awaiting the verdict. Finally, the day arrived when the jury returned to deliver their decision. In a twist that shocked many, Senator Matthews was found guilty on multiple counts. The courtroom erupted in a mixture of gasps and murmurs. Matthews stood frozen, disbelief etched across his face as the judge announced the sentence: 5 years in federal prison along with significant fines. It was a historic moment, one that sent ripples through the political landscape and raised questions about the integrity of elected officials. In the end, justice prevailed, but it left behind many unanswered questions. Was the verdict truly fair, or was there more beneath the surface? The aftermath of the trial saw a wave of reforms proposed, aimed at increasing transparency in campaign financing and holding politicians accountable for their actions. However, critics argued that these changes were merely a band-aid solution, failing to address the deeper systemic issues within the political system. The case of Senator John Matthews became a landmark in the annals of political history, a cautionary tale that highlighted the precarious balance between power and accountability. It served as a stark reminder that even the most influential individuals are not above the law, yet it also raised concerns about the motivations driving such high-profile prosecutions. As the dust settled, Matthews' supporters remained loyal, arguing that the trial was a politically charged spectacle designed to tarnish his reputation. Meanwhile, those who had called for his accountability celebrated what they saw as a victory for justice. The narrative continued to unfold in the media, with debates raging over the implications of the case and what it meant for the future of political integrity. What do you think about this case? Was justice truly served, or did the system fail? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe to CourtSpiral for more shocking stories from the world of law. Don't forget to like and subscribe to CourtSpiral. We're back every week with new, shocking stories. Let's continue exploring just how unpredictable justice can be.